From the City of Angels, you are watching Midnight Movie Talk as it's our Thursday night box office preview show. Little taste of a track I love. Listen, you talk about a film that's not as good as its score. It Follows has some things going on in the film that I dig, but that disaster piece score, oh my God, are you kidding me? So that was our opening piece. By the way, if you missed this stream live, a lot of times I have to edit that out because someone says that's a copyright thing. Too bad. We're flying live around the globe here on Thursday Night Live from Los Angeles talking about Longlegs. This film is about to take the roof off. This is going to be a big hit for Neon. It'll be their biggest opening ever. There's not even a question about that, right? This smash is immaculate. This is going to be a massive hit for them. We'll talk about the film, your thoughts on it here, a little bit of spoiler action because listen, guys, we did the reaction stream a couple of weeks ago here on MMT, and I didn't do spoilers, but I talked about the thing that happens in this film that drives you a little bit crazy. And I know you saw it. I know what I'm talking about now. You know that. So we're going to discuss as spoilery free as possible, but it's going to be very difficult. But I want to get your reactions. Come in, Gone Girl's on the comments tonight, so he will bring in comments as we discuss this film. And a lot of you ran out to see it, and I can tell because if you look at the sales, let's go directly to the sales here from AMC, and check this out, guys. This is in Prime. I picked the 4 major Prime locations AMC here in LA because Los Angeles is an AMC city. And we have Burbank 16 Prime. Look at this thing. It was stacked at 810, nearly sold out on a Thursday night. Let's go to Universal. Big Prime screen there, and that thing is at least 85-90% full. Front rows are always going to be a little bit light, but for a Thursday night, for a Neon film, look, Grove, that thing's basically sold out. Then we go to Century City. The 4 major AMC locations here in Los Angeles are stacked and packed. Look at how many screenings that Longlegs has here. When you look at the number of theaters this is in LA alone, you've got it at Burbank at the Prime, okay? You've got it in regular screens. You've got it at the AMC 6. We've got a 16, a 6, and an 8. It's at all 3 theaters. That is unheard of for Neon. So this thing is going to pop a massive number. Now, right now, if you notice in the corners, I'm on this AMC page. What do you see? Audience score, 65%. I told you guys on that reaction stream, what did I tell you? That this film is going to be not as loved as those early critic reactions because we live in a world now where we have a bunch of influencers and untalented film folks that get to see these movies first and they don't know how to not be hyperbolic. Best movie ever. Scariest movie I've seen in the past decade. On and on and on. Better than Silence of the Lambs. And guys, listen, we talked about it in the reaction stream, and I know if you saw it tonight, you know that I'm right. This ain't as good as Silence of the Lambs or Seven. Give me a fucking break. But we live in the world where everybody's like, it's the best thing ever. Forget the credentials of the people that are ushering in these statements, because we don't do that anymore. You can say you're anything in this world. You don't have to prove your shit. You just say, I am a film critic. Really? Let's look at what you've done over the past decade. But no, and guess what? A lot of you are going to come in and say, I didn't like this film. Well, listen, I tried to warn you guys. It's not as great. And that third act twist, when we find out what Nicolas Cage is actually doing as the serial killer, you're like, what? What? So the seat check looks amazing, guys. This thing is packed. This is huge for Neon. I'm going to put this thing at $22 million. Guys, that is such a big opening if we get to this number. That's a number that Neon will be celebrating and popping bottles of champagne when that happens. It's going to be very close to that number. I will not be surprised. Now, what's going to happen? The word of mouth will not be as strong on this film as you're seeing here. Go to the Rotten Tomatoes. We'll go there and look. 65% audience score is not good. Because, again, people went into this thing thinking that it's the best film ever made because that's what film Twitter told you. That's what the first people who went to see this film came out saying. And then you get into trouble because you actually see it and realize it's not that great. 65% audience score, 92% critic. Remember, if I am going to go ahead and give this a fresh or rotten, and I do have reviews on Rotten Tomato. I've not put anything on there in like a decade. But if you were to ask me, is it fresh or rotten? It's fresh because we discussed this going back to my initial reaction coming out of that screening in Beverly Hills last week, that this is directorially where I want to be. I love Oz Perkins, the director, technically, the look of the film, the feel of the film. Go look at a Gretel and Hansel. My God, I'm telling you, I think Gretel and Hansel is a spookier film than Longlegs. Okay, if you haven't seen Gretel and Hansel, watch the film. Not a great film, but from a technical filmmaking, directorial standpoint, it is very strong. And here you're looking at the same thing. Osgood Perkins knows how to visually tell a story. He knows how to put tons of atmosphere into his films. But the script. We're going to talk about this right now. Mulchy, here's one of the first comments. Loving the opening act, but didn't live up to the hype for me. Third act went off the rails. What did we tell you? What did we say? That's exactly what we said when we had our reaction stream a week ago. Guys, my job is this. It's very simple here. My job is to temper your expectations when we have the influencers out there calling this the scariest movie ever made. Better than Silence of the Lambs. It's 7, only 2024's version. No, it's not. It's not Silence of the Lambs. It's not 7. That third act twist. Annabelle. What? Annabelle / It Follows / Smile? What's going on? Remember, I told you guys we're going to duct tape something to Silence of the Lambs and 7, and it's going to be Annabelle? What the fuck? Like, seriously, guys, listen, I said this when I did the reaction stream. If Oz Perkins were so kind as to let me read his script for this going in. And I understand when he wrote this script, he wrote it about his parents, right? Anthony Hopkins is his dad, his mom. There's a lot of childhood trauma and stuff going on, I'm sure, like anybody with their parents. But the problem here is that this film suffers from him trying to do way too much to this film. When we finally find out what Nicolas Cage is actually doing, you're like, oh God, really? And so many people have already told me you literally have an audible like, and that is why this film doesn't work the way that you've been told. Look at some of these tweets, more reactions. Leave it up there, Gone Girl. I'll get to it. I want to show you some of these tweets that, this is why we end up where we are, because we have people like Bill Bria, who saw this very early on. Let's look at his tweet. I was so lucky to see Longlegs first. Remember, before I read the rest of this tweet, I'm going to tell you something that you guys need to remember. I say it all the time. If you're a longtime MMT viewer, you know where I'm going with this. The first viewers of any film almost unilaterally come out of a film and overpraise it because they're so excited for whatever reason. I don't understand this because I don't get that way. I've been to the world premiere of films. Go back to Babylon. I instantly knew that's a horrible fucking film. I don't care if I'm at the premiere. These other people go, oh my God, I'm the first tweet. I get to say it's the best film ever made. Let's continue. No exaggeration. It could be the best horror film of 2024. First of all, Bill, it's not. It's Handling the Undead's a better film than this, but I bet you haven't seen that. Oz Perkins can really get under my skin. This is his masterpiece. First of all, Bill, who the fuck is Bill Bria? Can I just eviscerate? Of course I have this clown blocked. Of course I do. Because here's the thing. What the hell are you saying? This is a director's masterpiece. If I'm not mistaken, this is Oz's third film, right? You had The Black Coat's Daughter, Gretel and Hansel, and this. There might be one in there I missed. There might be one earlier. Either way, it's not like he has 15 films. You're talking about a third film. So to call it his masterpiece, that's the stupidest fucking writing I've ever heard. I didn't want to do this tonight, guys. Then I've got Bill Bria giving us verbal vomit like this shit that's like it's his masterpiece. He's made 3 movies, everybody, but it's his masterpiece. My audience, can you guys understand what we're dealing with these people? Do you get why I try to come in here and be, hey guys, let's be happy. And I've got to read shit like this. And this is why the entire space suffers, because people like Bill Bria is out there going, it's Oz Perkins' masterpiece. Do you understand that if someone said, Weber, did you ever think about saying this is Oz Perkins' masterpiece? No. Why the fuck would I say that? Doesn't even make sense. The man has 3, maybe he has 4. I'll go look at IMDb. I know he has 3 films. I wouldn't say that about, imagine, here, this is the director's follow-up. This is the director's masterpiece. What are we doing? What are these people doing, you guys? I'm telling you, there is a severe lack of intelligence out there, especially in the film space. And here I am trying to have a positive night on a night where we're going to see this weekend a film go really big in Longlegs. My audience hated it, overheard murmurs of this is fucking stupid during the third act, a couple of walkouts, expecting really low cinema score here. Ian, do you understand? This is why, and I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to get myself a crown. I am the GOAT because I don't play the games that Bill Bria. We're going to look at a Courtney Howard tweet here shortly, who is completely clueless when it comes to any kind of review. This is the same woman who called The Lighthouse hilarious. Guys, you don't understand how frustrating it is to operate in a space where we have so many marginally at best talented people who are out there throwing out all of these huge platitudes and can't hold back on saying the best X ever. Whatever the film, whatever the genre is, this is the director's masterpiece. It's his third film. Doesn't matter. This is their masterpiece. But I'm telling you, what Ian's saying here is what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of this where people are not happy. Again, back to that Rotten Tomatoes score, guys. This is a 65%. Now, remember, I value technical filmmaking above virtually everything. Now, you got to give me a story, but when I see a technically dialed in film like Oz Perkins does here with Longlegs, I'm going to recommend it. Aspect ratios, the overall look of the film, right? Cinematography. I think it's just really, from a technical standpoint, I like looking at this film. So I'm going to bump that score up for me. At least I'm being honest about, why I bump a film up. Now, I remember what I told you. I said the technical ability here is strong. Therefore, I'm going to go higher with my score. That third act is minus 1%. I mean, literally, I can't even go low enough for that ridiculous, we're going to have the doll possess the fucking family. I swear to God, if I was in a critic screening, if I had seen this with a regular audience, I would have audibly out loud go, holy fuck, are you kidding me? Because that's how bad this is. And remember, guys, all we're doing is building credibility here. MMT is all about win to win to win. And these other people take L's all the time because they come out of these things and say it's the best film you've ever seen. And it's like, my God, Lewis Trace, you were right about Longlegs. Not very scary. Did enjoy the ending. Cage was okay. Seven and Silence of the Lambs are way better. 100%. Here's what I'm going to say also about Nicolas Cage here in this performance. I do like Nicolas Cage, obviously. I think there's a problem, and in the second viewing tonight, I watched about 3/4 of the film. I don't want to see the end again. I can't watch the twist. I can't. I don't want to put myself through it. But the problem with casting Nicolas Cage in a movie where, go back to Silence of the Lambs. We didn't see Buffalo Bill, correct? My God, it's been forever since I watched that movie. We didn't see him till the very end. We saw bits and pieces, and then we get to it. I think the thing is also a no-name, right? Who the hell played that role? We don't even know. No one knows. That's the point. Go back and look at when you have Nicolas Cage, when you put him in the role, the problem is no matter how many prosthetics you pile on top of him, you are going to end up in a situation where you, the viewer, watch and say that's Nicolas Cage. Do you feel me, guys? Come in and tell me you understand what I'm talking about here. You are, as a director, you have to watch, even though I think he's good here. It's not that it's a bad performance. What I'm saying is it's hard to remove your expectations and your prejudices against any given actor when you see them in a film. So you have to watch out who you cast in certain roles. I'm not saying this film suffers because of Nick Cage. I'm telling you that I think that the film is better if we find someone who's not as iconic as Nicolas Cage. Even though you've got his nose pushed up, you've got him in powdered up makeup, the long hair, it still is Nicolas Cage. And the way he delivers his lines, he's in the car and he's like, "Mama, nada." He's like, that's Nicolas Cage. So when you're watching it, you're like, yeah, there's Nicolas Cage doing his weird shit that we've seen in every film. So listen, guys, I understand that a lot of the stuff I talk about here, you're probably going, he's 100% right. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to let you and make you, when you go see these films, not watch them surface level, but start to break them apart. And as we like to say, magic eye these things and start to say, okay, here's what I would do differently with Longlegs. And the first thing I would do with this film is obviously rewrite the entire ending. You have to rewrite a lot of this because remember, the entire thing hinges on getting the doll into the house. And it's like, oh my God. And the mom and what? Like, listen, I always talk when we're writing screenplay, and I'm writing the screenplay right now. I've told you guys that it's going to be less is more. It's always less is more, right? In writing in particular, there's too many people in writers. We're going to talk about a film here tonight called Cuckoo that is the follow-up to a film I love, Lose, by Tillman Singer. We're going to talk about that here shortly. Another film that tries to do too much. I think that as a writer, if you're a writer out there, and a lot of people here in the industry watch the channel, and I appreciate that, tip. Do not go haywire with your script. Try to ground it as much as possible and not go off the deep end like Oz Perkins does here with Longlegs, to the great detriment of this film. In fact, let me just go to my reaction. I didn't get this on last time. I sent this out on Monday. I think it's a very fair, very strong evaluation, not just because I wrote it. I really do think it's dead on. Here it is. This is my exact words. Suffering massive damage from an eye-roll-inducing plot twist, Longlegs could have been one of the all-time serial killer films. Director Oz Perkins overwrites his finish, sucking serious air out of this hauntingly constructed work. Technically flawless, narratively flawed. Is that not, guys? This is why Weber's the man. I know, guys, there's a lot of you out there. But at the end of the day, there is nobody in the space, not a single person, who is more dead on accurate with these evaluations, because it's not hard to stand out in a sea of very marginally talented people. That's, guys, I mean, I'm sorry if that sounds super aggressive, super nasty. Weber's mean. Guys, there is a vast void of talent in the film critic space, because you're looking for so many factors we talk about all the time. You're looking for talent, number one. You're looking for fearlessness, authenticity, not woke, not anti-woke, right? You're looking for someone objective. These things are very hard to find in one person, and I hopefully bring most of that to the table. A lot of these people put on the hat. They put on an act. It's not a real thing, and people see through it, and unfortunately, a lot of Twitter doesn't, and that's where we end up here tonight, because we have so many people out there in the space who savagely overpraise films, and you pay the price. You pay the price because you go in expecting this thing to be a masterpiece, the best film of the decade, the best horror film ever. And then you see Longlegs and you go, listen, it has some strong things going for it, but overall, this is no Silence of the Lamb or Seven. But that's why I have to come in and do this. Every single time I've got to be the guy who comes in and cleans up the mess for all of the shills and all of the marginally at best talented film voices out there who can't evaluate a film to save their own ass. It really, listen, that's what this channel will be. It's what it'll be. I mean, I don't care at this point because someone's got to do it. And when you have the balls to go after these people, which clearly I do because they deserve it, you guys are paying the price. But according to many film Twitter dweebs, they say, well, listen, Gone Girl, thank you for producing, by the way. It's because they're jealous. They can't do what I do. They just can't. They can't even come close. It's literally like there's no chance. It's like I said, it's a one punch first round knockout. So I don't worry about that. I'm not worried, especially for the faceless, nameless film Twitter dweebs out there. Guys, it's win to win to win here, because ultimately when people watch, they go, this guy has credibility, because I don't come in here and savagely overvalue films. It hasn't happened. If anyone brings up Ant-Man 3, I swear to you, I will hunt you down. No, listen, guys, that's a Marvel film. That's a goofy Marvel film. I had fun with it. It's not an awards film, okay? I'm not sitting here telling you Longlegs is Silence of the Lambs. Can you imagine if I told you that? You'd come back here and say, Weber, it's over. Because you have no credibility. That's the problem is go back to a Horizon. I eviscerated that film for an hour yesterday. Go watch the stream again. A terrible film. When you hang your hat on films like Horizon, Longlegs is a much better film. But when you say Horizon is a masterpiece, when you say Horizon is an excellent film, really well constructed, what a directorial effort, it's over. I mean, there's no return. And if you don't see these things, it's you. It's not me. It's a you problem. Again, you cannot expect everybody to be able to do something great. I know, again, back to what we talk about all the time. In the society today, we talk about how everybody has the talent. They're the best. You can do anything. No, you can't. I can't be in the NBA. Okay, you have limitations. You have skills that other people don't have. Not everybody has that unique set of skills, but yet we live in the society that everybody can do it. Listen, you can watch a movie. That doesn't mean you're good at evaluating it. Doesn't mean your taste is strong. And I think that, listen, is Alien Romulus going to better? I mean, I think listen, I'm at 88% on this because I like Oz Perkins, the director, but that third act is a -1. I mean, guys, if Alien Romulus is third act is anything +10, which it should be, then it probably will be better. I mean, listen, watching this film again, it's going to be very trying for a lot of people because it takes a lot of patience. It's a neon horror film. Neon does not make mainstream films. As much as I applaud Neon, I can't wait to see a Nora. We're going to talk about Cuckoo here momentarily. But listen, ultimately, they're not a label for the average moviegoer, and they're going to be challenged by this film. But I don't even think that that's the issue. The issue is the dull third act bullshit. That's the issue here tonight. More comments, and then we'll go into Cuckoo on this Thursday night box office preview show. Thanks for being here. As always, guys, it's always a pleasure to be on the stream and discussing these things. And yes, sometimes we go hard. Listen, you have to, because again, we live in this world where we have so many people that are overvaluing things, and then you end up getting pissed off because you come back and see the film and you're like, what the fuck? No, Spidey, you should see the film. I just want you to go into it knowing that third act's going to be a disaster. What happens with Nicolas Cage and how he kills families is going to actively destroy everything that precedes it. We talk about that a lot, how there's films where something happens and then everything that preceded it is tainted. This film is, as I said in the tweet reaction here, immeasurably damaged from that eye roll inducing plot twist with the doll. Okay. I mean, You got to be kidding me. Like, listen, one of the reasons Silence of the Lambs and Seven, why are those two of the best all-time horror films, maybe best all-time films, when you look at the fact they're both grounded. They both are set in reality. There's not some third act plot twist in Seven where what's his ass, instead of instead of Brad Pitt's wife's head, he has a baby doll in there. It's Brad Pitt's kid doll, and the doll's possessed, and the doll comes out of the box and stabs Brad Pitt in the heart. That's the kind of shit we're dealing with here with Longlegs. Fincher didn't do that with Seven. So what are we doing here, guys? Now that I make fun of it, you guys, oh, well, he's 100% right. Smile's better than Longlegs. You're 100% Ryan. You couldn't be more correct. Smile is a much stronger film than Longlegs. Smile is a 90-plus percentile across the board. You've got direction. You've got story. Is it derivative of other films we've seen? Oh, my God, of course. Duh. So is every horror film. But Smile, when I came out of that film, I was like, here we have a director who knows his shit. He can direct the shit out of the film technically. And then we also have a badass screenplay. And it's also dark and bleak. I love it. Smile 2 is probably, just saw the trailer here tonight. I saw like 10 horror trailers because, of course, they're piling them in because we talked about off the top, Longlegs is going to destroy this weekend. When you look at this film and you look at Smile 2, I can't wait. I think it's going to be one of the best films of the year because I trust that he's going to be able to follow up Smile with something bigger and badder and maybe even bolder than the first Smile, which, by the way, we called very early as a future horror masterpiece because that film deserves the juice. That is worth the squeeze, as they say. Neon named Cuckoo after Nicolas Cage catchphrase in Long Free. Yeah, it's in there, right? Okay, guys, let's do it. Let's go ahead and get ready. Let's do the MMT evaluation of Cuckoo. I saw an early screening. So tonight, I am not going to do spoilers on this. This is going to be a spoiler-free Cuckoo reaction because it's Neon's next horror film out of the gate. And let's have a taste of Cuckoo. This is Tillman Singer's follow-up to the bizarre and also badass Lose. Here's a taste of Cuckoo.
Mom, I really want to go home. I'm getting back.
How was your journey?
Very pleasant, thank you.
Good. Gretchen, come say hi.
What's up? I'm your neighbor. I haven't heard about you.
Why would you have heard about me?
How would you like to come work for me at the resort?
I'm gonna hit pause here because I'm gonna get hit with a copyright strike. I don't want to have that happen. Listen, a lot of times if you miss these streams live, I have to edit out some of the trailer because they go, that's a copyright. Listen, I'm trying to promote your movie here. So Neon, give me a break. But Neon's pretty good about this. Warner Brothers is terrible. A lot of the studios are like, you can't do it. I'm like, why? Why can't I do this? I'm trying to promote your movie. Okay, so Cuckoo is, again, I can't recommend you check out Lose enough. L-U-Z, 2019, tiny film, and it is one of the weirdest directorial debuts I've ever seen, but it's super tight. It's like 85 minutes. And when I watch that film, I'm like, this dude, this singer cat, he's got talent. And that's what you see here again with Cuckoo. You get a Tillman Singer who has the visual eye to tell a very bizarre story again here. It's about a family that goes to a resort, and they're up in the French Alps, I believe, here. I didn't even bother to look where they shot this thing. I believe that's where it is. And then all kinds of weird shit happens while they're there. There's a little Shining action here with the abandoned-ish hotel and then things that go bump in the night. I think one of the things that really works with this film, first time I really saw anything of substance here from Hunter Schafer. He is the trans actress. She is the trans actress who is also in Kinds of Kindness, I guess in Euphoria as well. And there's a lot on Hunter's shoulders here in this film. And I think that he acquits himself very well. And as the film builds, he gets stronger. That's, by the way, that is not on purpose. Okay. Can I just make sure that's 100% clear? She gets stronger as the film progresses. So I think that when you look at Hunter Schafer, you're looking at somebody who does have the talent. You know, we talk about this a lot, and you guys know I'm not the anti-woke channel, but I am going to talk about this because I think it's just for a moment. I'm going to take a little side side room here and just chill for a second. I want you to listen to this. We live in a society where we tend to praise things that are the cause. Okay, that's the reality of it, and we see it happen with film Twitter quite often. We see it happen with just in general life. And I think the danger here, when I was hearing a lot about Hunter Schafer, is, are we saying Hunter Schafer is interesting because Hunter is trans? Which is, I think, a very valid question to ask, because I have brought that up in issues when we go back and you look at the Bud Light side of the Dylan Mulvaney. You know, look at a Dylan Mulvaney. Okay, obviously another trans woman. When you look at when you look at Dylan Mulvaney has no talent. Dylan Mulvaney's not interesting. There's nothing about Dylan Mulvaney that would make me say, this is why this person is where they are. Conversely, flip it to Hunter Schafer. Hunter Schafer has that it factor. When you're watching Hunter on the screen, you're just like, okay, this person is alluring. There's something unique about this person. They have a vibe. And so see, this is what MMT does better than anybody else. We're very fair, very objective, but we're also very honest about these things, because most people don't want to talk about it. They're like, I don't know, that's a little bit dangerous. Do you want to go there? I'll go there. I'll go there every fucking time, because that's what we do, because we need that in society. We need people who understand all the sides and then come in here objectively and try to evaluate these things. So that's just a little bit. Okay, let's get back into the review, but I just wanted to mention that about Hunter Schafer. I think the problems with this film, very simply, are the fact that it's another one of these films that's overstuffed. There's a lot going on here. I think the thing about this film that you really need to know without giving it away is it's got major Island of Dr. Moreau vibes. And because of that, I felt it was so derivative of that throughout the film. I'm just kind of like, okay, not that scary either, which is always an issue when you're being told a film's horrifying, frightening, scariest movie, which you probably heard about Cuckoo. Listen, I like more of this film than I dislike it, but overall disappointment for the second film from Tillman Singer. I have it at 75%. It's a recommend, but it's not a strong recommend on this film. Runtime's about 140. I'll be honest, even at 140, it feels like it drags a little bit. I think it's another lesson for people to learn, for writers out there in particular. Write your things even a little tighter. Remove characters. Bring things down. Try not to do so much. And I feel like so many projects would be bettered by less is more. We talk about it all the time with a runtime, and less is more, right? It doesn't sound like that's accurate, but the reality is that our streams are 1 hour. If I did a 3-hour stream, it would still suck. But at least in this case, it's less is more. It's only an hour. Tonight might be even a little bit less. I think when you try to do too much, you end up having the audience get a little bit outside of the film, and that's how I felt here with Cuckoo. A little bit like, let's move it along, let's go. I still want to see what Tillman Singer has up next, and this is not a complete loss for Neon, who's having a very strong year, guys. When we talk about a Neon, you're talking about a studio that has Anora in the wings, which is the Palm winner from Cannes, and that is Sean Baker. And listen, I saw the trailer tonight for the first time. You guys know I don't watch a lot of trailers. I try not to. When I watched Anora, I'm like, this is what I love. This is what I want to watch. When I watch a Sean Baker director and I watch how he delivers his film, the look and feel. Listen, Red Rocket screenplay, I don't love, but I adore his use of film. I adore his old school love of theatrical. Remember, we made Sean Baker weeks ago. He was our first ever MMT Cinema champion because of the fact that he's working with a Neon. He's working with an A24 that's all about theatrical. He's not working with Netflix, the devil studio here in Hollywood that doesn't give a shit about cinema. So we need to champion these voices. But Neon, back to Neon, talk about a cinema champion of a studio. Every one of their films is in theaters. My number one film of the year, Hailing the Undead, available for me at AMC Burbank. Probably not for you. It was only on like 15 screens, but it was in a theater. at AMC, not at Lemley, not at the Indie Art House, at AMC. And that's why we love a Neon. But their year is very strong between, you got a Cuckoo here, not as great as I expected, but still a marginal recommend. Then you go to a Longlegs, which is still a recommend for me, even with its issues, and a Nora's coming in here that can do damage as an awards film. I like where Neon's head is. I think the other thing that I love about Neon, more so than A24, and I actually sent this tweet out tonight where I said, and I think this is pretty fair, I think that when you look at a Neon, you're looking at the new A24, which I understand some of you are like, what? No, listen, let me explain that. A24 gets so much love. Here's the tweet. They get so much almost cult-like adoration that not enough people understand that I believe Neon operates in a space that is not as virtue signally as an A24. A24, when they first started, was all about really rad indie films. Now I get the feeling more and more it's about let's get some films in there and also display our virtue signally nature. And I believe that Neon and Tom Quinn, who runs that distributor / studio, he has a great eye for filmmakers, and I don't believe he acts in the name of wokeness. I'm not the anti-woke channel. I'm not the pro-woke channel. But you know what I'm saying when I say that. Hollywood loves to attach itself to the woke cause. I don't care. I just want to watch a good film. And I think that's how Tom Quinn views movies. That's why Neon is the new A24. Michael Rodriguez, Limb to Society, where horror became victim of itself. Critics say it's the best since this and that, always fails all the time. And welcome to MMT. Michael, we don't do that. Listen, if I say a film is near masterpiece and Handling the Undead, you know I believe that, and I believe when you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Is it for everybody? No. But what we build this entire channel on, what I built my entire, ethic on, being a film evaluator, as I call myself, not a critic. I like to evaluate and tell you where this thing can get better, where it can get worse, what can we do with this film. Okay. It's all about not getting your expectations out of control. Again, the society we live in, it's all about how hyperbolic can I be. These influencers are ruining everything for you guys because they say everything's the best movie ever. And the reality is the chances are very low that whatever you just watched is the best movie ever. But a lot of kids in the space don't have any history. They're 23 years old. They don't have the knowledge. They love to throw that stuff out. They're the generation that's been told they can do anything. They're wonderful. They're perfect. And of course, they're going to reflect that in their values when they watch a film. They can't imagine going after a film like me. They'll come after me. Good luck, guys. Keep it up. Bring it. But they won't go after a director like I did Poor Things, like I did Beau is Afraid, like I did The Whale, like I did repeatedly Everything Everywhere, calling it the most overrated film of the year. No one does that but me, because I know ultimately that I believe, hopefully, listen, you have to have conviction. I have conviction that what I believe about a film is dead on. Go back to Horizon. I came out of that film and said, this is one of the worst films of the century, and I mean that from a directorial standpoint. What Kevin Costner does with that film, from the look to the edits to the runtime to the structure, it is appalling from a directorial standpoint. And I've got clowns coming into my Twitter and into my comments on YouTube. This is a masterpiece. Guys, I can't reason with fucktards. I can't. You can't reason with these people. These people are literally brain dead, untalented. It's there. I told you guys when I watched that film and came out and savaged the shit out of it, I've got a director who you guys have heard of, who's in my DM saying every single thing you said about Horizon is dead on, and I adore Kevin Costner. I know what I'm doing, but these other people don't, and I've got to live in a world where I got this noise of these idiots out there, blah, 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 Horizon. It's fucking terrible. I don't want to talk about Horizon again. There's nothing to discuss. If you can't recognize that Horizon is abysmal from a directorial standpoint, and that includes knowing where your scene starts and ends rather than just letting it go, Kevin. Zero calibration. Literally, the hubris, the arrogance of Kevin Costner to let that film bleed on and on. That scene, okay, there's so many fucking terrible scenes in that movie. That scene where they go into the cabin, where they've got the parents and the three bad guys, that thing goes on for 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. The guy next to me is on his phone. Well, of course you're on your phone. This is terrible. This scene should have ended 5 minutes ago. Costner is the worst director of the year. And if you don't understand that, I'm not going to try to explain that anymore. You need to get better at evaluation. I can't help you anymore. That's not me. That's you. That's not me. That's you. You. I've said it before. Weber needs to watch the first 10 minutes of Costner and Rich. What? Wait. Oh, God. Do we have it? Can we find it? Is it on YouTube? Hold on for a second. We're just here. We did listen, we've already done our meat and potatoes. We did our long legs, your reaction still to come. And we also did the Cuckoo reaction. So, okay, let's do it. Let's see. Costner, Eisen. Hold on. Oh, my God. Here it is. Let's listen to a little bit of this. There's a full interview, 23 minutes, Yellowstone, 6 years ago, 2 weeks ago. Here it is. Yeah, let's listen to.
It's a coastal state of mind. In a coastal kind of
So
wine.
right now, everybody who's on, you need to send a super chat. I want super chats for all the monetization I'm going to lose right now for playing some of this video because you're playing our video. I don't care if it's 99 cents. We're about ready to lose everything for listening to Kevin Costner. Here he is, everybody.
Actor on Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 1 in theaters nationwide this very Friday.
Let me stop for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. If I get in trouble for this, it's your fault. It's not my fault. I'm not going to take the heat for this shit. Horizon sucks balls, and I'm going to listen to Costner, and I'm going to stop him and hammer him in between sound bites. Also, if you're not watching live, you missed it because it's probably going to have to be deleted from the stream. If you're live, enjoy. Here we go. Get ready to roast Kevin Costner for the shit-tacular Horizon.
To see you, sir. How are you? Worthy of applause indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you back here, sir.
Thank you.
Man, what a beautiful, awesome movie you have made, sir.
Thank you. I was like, I wanted to make it. I feel lucky I was able to do it. If everything kind of falls apart.
We were definitely not lucky that you did it, Kevin. We were cursed. The entire audience was absolutely cursed watching this film. By the way, this is why I could never be a Rich Eisen. If I had Kevin Costner in the chair next to me, I couldn't even say what a beautiful, gorgeous movie. I would say, Kevin, what the fuck were you thinking with this movie? This is why I'll never be mainstream. Weber will forever be the Shane what's-his-ass who did that movie Primer. I told you I did an interview with him. He made like 2 movies. He's like so niche. Weber's the Shane fucking A Primer guy. That's who I am. Let's listen to more of Costner talk about how great his Horizon is.
A handbasket. I'm going to know I got that one done.
What do you love about a Western so much?
It's not a land in Disneyland, right? What happened?
What? What did he just say?
People made their way across this ocean because there was this promise. If you could get to this land, this place wasn't what you can call America, but if you can get there, it goes forever.
Okay, I got to pause. Luis, this is a great comment. I don't remember. Listen, because it's so unmemorable. It's so poorly directed. I'm telling you guys, when I read these reactions to Horizon, I just go, why are you even discussing this? Why can you not see these things? We're going to go back to Longlegs. I don't want to do this long. We'll do a couple more seconds with Costner.
And you can own something if you're tough enough, if you're resourceful enough, you're mean enough, and you can hold on to it. It was kind of a promise. Nobody talked about the people who had been here for 15,000 years. But that was the idea of America, if you were strong enough.
Well, the number of times as I was watching this film, and again, I highly recommend it to everyone out there, and I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here.
Oh, then Rich Eisen, you ain't no shit about film if you're highly recommending this to everybody out there. Reminder, everybody, this film, Part 2, Horizon 2, was shelved by Warner Brothers. What did we say? We said that was going to happen. This film's fucking terrible.
And I also root for you. is that
God, what a suck up Eisen is. Rich Eisen's such a suck up. Oh, and the people that have praised him. What the Rich? Do you want to lick? Do you want to suck on the teat?
How did they survive bad weather? How
it
did
was
they
inches. They weren't equipped. They didn't realize what they were going to run into, and then be able to reverse yourself.
I'm already bored.
Attached to this great grandmother maybe went through. Father, you almost want to beat him, but then you also
I do want to almost beat Kevin Costner. That's right, Kevin.
Find the nobleness in it, and then to watch that child recognize that he made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It's they're powerful, and then what's going on below the surface?
There's nothing going on below the surface. This movie's fucking terrible, guys. Okay, no, Kerchop, it's not. No, it's not even an '80s style. Listen, an '80s style movie is Beverly Hills Cop 2. Okay, an '80s style movie is anything directed by Bruckner. Anything that was produced by Bruckner, anything that was done by Michael Bay, those big, gigantic 80s loud music video Armageddon films. Not this. This is not, guys, Kerchop, this is terrible. This is not, guys, don't make me pull up the DM from the director that literally says everything you said is terrible. The costumes are bad. It looks like a TV movie. There's no structure. There's just random scenes of people. It's bad, guys. This is and has no edits. Terrible film. Rich had my Raiders winning the division last season when Josh McDaniels is coach. I predicted 3 to 5 wins. Would have been right if Josh wasn't fired. Rich Eisen, I could never be in that seat because guys, this is why we do MMT. I'm allowed to just do whatever I want, which is what we're doing right now. We'll go back to Longlegs. So no more Costner, no more Horizon. We just have visitor. I said I wasn't going to talk about Horizon again, and here I am spending 5 minutes or more. Sorry, everybody. Back to Longlegs. Give me Longlegs reactions, Gone Girl, whatever you have. Anyone who came in, is anybody loving this film? Because I don't believe that's going to be the case. I told you guys, lower your expectations. If you don't have your expectations high, you're going to be better off. And I think the problem is all of you went in there thinking it's going to be Silence of the Lambs, and it's not Silence of the Lambs. So then you go, wait a second, this isn't that great. And that's the problem. 3.5 out of 5. Listen, I gave it 88%, which for me is a B plus. So that 3.5 B plus. Yeah, that's a great point, Mud Style. It needs to be longer for the ideas. That's something that we talk about, brevity and runtime often, and how important that is. Well, of course it is. But if you need a little bit more to tell the story, then maybe that's the case. I maybe would. Here's the problem, though. I don't even think that matters because, listen, because of the choice of Nicolas Cage and the dolls, you got to be kidding me. That's such a bad decision. It's Annabelle / It Follows / Smile. It takes all of the air out of the film, right? You're expecting this totally dark, bleak finish, and you get this ridiculous shit with Mom and the doll and Cage, and you're like, oh my God, the man downstairs. And I almost screamed. Again, press screening, I didn't. In a regular screening, I'm going to say, fuck me. This is terrible. Pack Theater here in Toronto at Scotiabank Theater. By the way, credit for that. I want to see, you don't love the third act, but stellar filmmaking. Yeah, hey, welcome to the channel. Let me go back to the reaction from Twitter one more time. What I just said from Twitter was exactly, guys, listen, nobody's better. Nobody's better. Not one, not anybody. Not Erick. Definitely not Fantasy. Nobody does this shit better. Not a single person. It's just the reality of it. I don't know what to tell you. One more time. Reaction. This is the tweet reaction. Go back and watch the stream. You'll hear everything I said here. This is everything in 280 characters. Suffering massive damage from an eye roll inducing plot twist. Longlegs could have been one of the all-time serial killer films, but director Oz Perkins overwrites his finish, sucking serious air out of his hauntingly constructed work. Technically flawless, narratively flawed. Bang, baby. It's over. Over. That's it. And when you come out and you read that, you're like, Weber's the man. Weber knows his shit. Weber doesn't play the game. Weber doesn't play all the way the other people do. Because the other people don't have the talent. They also are young, or they're clueless, or they want to have likes on tweets. I don't want likes. I don't even care if I get views. It doesn't matter. I want to go off on films that are terrible and go off also on films I love. Longlegs I like more than I hate, but I understand why you guys are disappointed with this film here tonight. I warned you. I told you, go back to the reaction stream. What did I tell you? I said, take your expectations for Longlegs and bring it down. Bring it down, because you have the Gen Zers out there and the clueless. I saw the movie first. People that see it here in LA. Oh my God, best movie I ever saw. This thing's scary, scariest movie, masterpiece. Excuse me. Let me remember that tweet. It's Oz Perkins' masterpiece. He has 3 films. Let me double check. Does he have 4? I know he has 3. Blackcoat's Daughter, Gretel and Hansel, and yes, man, why the hell is that coming up? That's the dude who directed A Quiet Place. Ugh, boy, that movie was bad. Let's see what we have. Let me see how many films he's directed. Is it 4? Maybe it's 4. Oh my God, Thanksgiving's on here. Why is they showing me that film's horrible? Thanksgiving's so bad. Why is it not like the first thing here? Like Longlegs should be the first movie that I come to on IMDb, and instead it's like not even there. Here we go. Let's find out. Is it 3 or 4? Here we go. Oz Perkins. Let's go to his. I should have done my homework. He's done 7, but I think those are shorts. Let's see what he's done. Give me a second. The Monkey's got coming up. The Keeper. Okay, those are before. Twilight Zone doesn't count. Gretel and Hansel. I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. I missed that one. Blackcoat's Daughter. So he has 4. I missed I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. Well, of course I missed it, guys. It's a Netflix movie. What? I mean, of course I missed that movie. That doesn't even count. He has 3 movies. That doesn't count. A Netflix movie doesn't count. Ask David Fincher. Nobody talks about David Fincher movies anymore. Like literally, like how does it feel, Fincher, to end up being upstaged by virtually any film that's in a theater versus your decision to make your films for Netflix? I still didn't even watch the last one. I don't even care. What was it called? The Hitman. The Killer. Was that? I think it was The Killer. Never watched it because it's Netflix and I'm not going to support them. And Fincher, your stock's gone. Like Fincher used to be like $100 stock in a directorial, maybe 200. I mean, think back to Gone Girl. Think back, obviously, Social Network. Think back to Zodiac. Pick a Fincher film, 7, but go back right, Gone Girl. And then what do you have after that? Did he do that one, the girl with the dragon tattoo? Okay, but Fincher at one time was in the top 5 working directors. Now no one would even mention Fincher. They would put him in like maybe the 10, maybe at number 10. Because why? David Fincher, it's your fault. Because you decided to work with Netflix. You decided to, and also Manx, fucking terrible. But when you look at Fincher, how's it feel to lose all of your stature? To make the film you want to make? Again, that's why we champion Sean Baker. That's why we champion Oz Perkins. Because they're making films with studios that are all about theatrical. When I write the script, it's being written, it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be grounded. It's going to be set in LA. All I'm going to tell you. But guess what? It's not getting sold to Netflix. There's a 0% chance that the script that we're writing gets sold to Netflix. First of all, they never buy it because I wrote it. But, along with my partner. But I'm never going to sell to them. They would come, like, listen, here's the script sale. We love this film. It's fucking great. Here's the deal. Netflix wants it. They're going to pay you $5 million. I mean, that's a lot of money. Or we also have Neon. They're willing to give you $500,000. I'm going with Neon. I'm not even kidding you guys. I'm not. Swear. Get a Bible. Put it up. I am going with Neon, and I'm taking 1/10 the money. Give it to me. Let's go. I'll take the $500K. Let's go theatrical. And by the way, as I write out, I am Sean Parker getting back at the VCs and going. And Sean Parker says this as I walk out of the room. Netflix. That's how we're rolling. Okay, let's find some more early reactions. You want some more? Okay, fine. Let's find some more crazy hyped things. Now let's go to Courtney Howard, who loves everything. Courtney, one of the most overvalued film voices ever. Sorry, Courtney, you know it. If you don't like that, too bad. Don't write shit that's written for, like, listen to this shit. You ready for this? It's as if Longlegs was forged in hell by Satan. If I wrote that, I would be dragged, okay, from here to Barstow and then on to Vegas, back to Barstow and back to Burbank. That's how I'd be dragged for writing. It's as if this were forged in hell by Satan, who brought it as an artifact into our world as a gift. Fuck me, I'm going to throw up. Hold on for a second. I don't have an air sickness bag. Fuck, why didn't A24? That's what they need to send. They send all this swag. I need an A24 air sickness bag. Let's continue. It's the real fucking shit. Mischievous, steady tension build, scary. No one says it's scary. This is not scary, guys. Especially in caps. Was anyone scared by Longlegs? Nobody was scared by sick. What's sick? The twist? This isn't sick. Sick is 7. When you cut off the wife's head and put her in a box, put the head in a box, which Brad Pitt discovers out in the middle of nowhere, Palm Springs. That's disturbing. A doll that possesses a family, that's not disturbing and certainly not sick. Like, guys, what are we doing, man? What are we doing, man? I feel like Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice. We're talking about practice, not a game. We're talking about these reviews, not the actual movie. We're talking about these fucking reviews. If you ever work for Netflix, you sold out. I never will. Guys, I'm not a sellout. It'd never happen. Never going to be a sellout. I would listen. There's the Simpsons episode of the comic book dude. And remember, it's one of my favorite episodes going back. He gets offered like $1 million to say a movie's good. And the last scene is him in the end going, this movie sucks balls, send. And I go, that. I didn't know at the time because I was a lot younger. I now know that is me. That I'm not him because that'd be, ugh. But the idea of just nuking $1 million to say that Horizon is the worst film of the century is worth it because that's how I roll. I'm not for sale. Never going to be for sale. If I were a politician and they tried to come to me and say, hey, listen, we'd like to go ahead and fund your next campaign, but you have to agree to push this. I'd be like, listen, lobbyist, there's no fucking chance because this is bad news. I'm not going to push this. This isn't good. I don't believe in this. Therefore, no, get out of here. And they're like, whoa, hold on. This is a guy that can't be bought. That doesn't work in Washington. Get rid of him. That's the thing. That's the thing in the film space. They know it. Everybody knows it. Weber's not for sale. If he gives praise, he meant it. And the studios are afraid. Listen, at the end of the day, the studios love when Weber loves a film because they know that people go, shit, that's real. I tell people all the time. I get it all the time. If you love a film, there's a 97% chance I'm going to love it. If you hate it, 50-50. Well, I'll take that because with most critics, it's 50-50 no matter what they say because they aren't good. They have no taste. They're not fearless. They're trying to fit in. They're trying to appease the film Twitter circle jerk nerds. That's not what I'm doing, man. I have no interest in that. I am going to operate in my own little playground. And that's how it goes. Not for sale. Don't care. We're going to ruffle feathers like I give a shit because ultimately we back it up. And I'm not going to be like, you can't. No. We're going to say it. We just go back and watch what we just did with Cuckoo tonight, talking about trans, talking about Dylan Mulvaney versus Hunter Schafer. These things are just not discussed on other channels. Do you think Nerdrotic or Gore talking about this shit? No, they're going to watch Cuckoo and say it's terrible because Hunter Schafer's trans. That's the difference, man. The difference is you're talking to an objective, fair film evaluator here, one of the last, if not the only in the entire universe. Awards chances for Longlegs, possibly, a cinematography. That's editing. Maybe, listen, Neon is very adept at getting their films into the awards conversation. Horror is always, I don't need to tell you this, you guys know this, movies with Mr. Mario, that it's hard to get a horror film into the awards conversation. Look no further than Hereditary and Us. Lupita Nyong'o should have been in for that film. I mean, she has to be in for that film. For 2 roles in a film that, listen, I don't adore Us, but her performance, you have to put these things in. I don't care about overall film. I care about performance. Now, listen, I'm gonna retract a little bit of that statement when I talk about A Beau is Afraid. I'm never going to recommend Joaquin Phoenix for an award because Beau is Afraid is unwatchable. Listen, Us is not unwatchable. You have to put Lupita in that conversation. You have to put Toni Collette in that conversation for Hereditary. We don't do that because we live in a society with these academies, with the Academy, with anybody in the award space. They can't extract elements from films and understand that you can recognize cinematography for Longlegs like we did. Okay, go back to the critics group that I started years ago called Sunset Circle. The first year we started, one of the films that, well, I think it's in year 2, the second year that we did it, I was all about Gretel and Hansel, score, production design, and cinematography. Go watch Gretel and Hansel. You've got cinematography, lights out. You've got score, and you've also got production design. That's not an awards film. You have to be able to do that. So great question. Longlegs is not going to be an awards player. Nicolas Cage is not getting a supporting. Listen, here, if we're going to talk about supporting actors this year that deserve the, outside the box supporting actor nominations, you're looking at Chris Hemsworth, number 1 for Furiosa. No one's more the MVP of this film than Chris Hemsworth this year. Any film, MVP Chris Hemsworth, Furiosa. Then behind that, I would put Austin Butler, Dune. Those two, and there'll be more, but those are outside the box supporting plays. Cage would be a distant 3 because it's not that big a role. Not that we haven't seen someone get nominated for jack shit for supporting in the past, but really small role. Look at McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street. There's an easy nomination, so it should be. But you look at the supporting landscape, Nick Cage really doesn't fit into it. When Erick was born, this is pretty much right, Coach. I don't know if it's just the Gen X in me. I don't know if it's just the way that I've always lived. I'm a Libra. I've always talked about this. I think, I believe in astrological signs a lot. Libras are balanced, right? Look at it. It's a scale. Libras don't like when the scale is tipped one side or the other too far. That's why I always talk about when I go into a film, I'm always flat. I'm always level. I'm always objective. And we start at 0 and we go from there. I don't care if the last film was Social Network going back to Fincher. The next film is going to be at 0. We're not going to start at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 50. We have most of these, I'm talking percentage already here at 50% just because it's Fincher. We live in a world now where we have these people in the film space that because it is director X, insert any director that has merit, that has been an awards director, 75% already. We're going to start at 75 because it is Damien Chazelle. Babylon. No. In fact, you got to go to 0. And then when you watch Babylon, you're going negative. You're going, this is one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen. Again, I go back to Babylon. First screening ever, Beverly Hills. I'm there. I'm in the back. I'm watching. I like to watch the audience. Up stands 10 minutes in, not even. Here comes two different couples get up and they walk out. They're not going to the bathroom. They left because anytime a couple leaves, that is a, hey, honey, let's get the fuck out of here. You got the elephant shitting on people, golden showers. That film is one of the worst. Damien Chazelle should be embarrassed for the fucking train wreck that is Babylon. I will destroy that film till the end of time, along with Horizon, along with The Whale, along with you name a film. Beau is Afraid, Poor Things. Poor Things at least is watchable. I just hate the film. But listen, you have to be able to do these things, and a lot of critics don't do that. They go, it's Damien Chazelle, therefore it's good. That's what a Courtney Howard would do. That's why she's totally unreliable. I'm reliable. You can listen, film Twitter, bring it, roll up. You can't hang because you don't have objectivity, you don't have talent, and you don't have experience. You don't have any of these things. So what are you dealing with? We're dealing with somebody who's just saying shit to say it. It's verbal fucking vomit. I'm tired of this. I'm not going to do that in the space. We're never going to be anti-woke or pro-woke. We're going to be fair and objective forever. A couple more comments. We're out of here. We're up on the hour. That's it, man. Listen, guys, I give you an hour, and that's it. Anything beyond that is too much. Remember, less is more. Rapid fire comments to end this thing, Gone Girl, and then we're back on Sunday night. Shouldn't have shown LL had Micah find his picture before the interrogation scene. Audience would have seen Longlegs for the first time along with their character. This is a great point, Mulchy, and I 100% agree with you. I was thinking when I saw him walk in, he goes in, if you guys seen the film, if you haven't, I'm not a spoiler here. He walks into the convenience store or whatever that is, fucking store, and he goes in, and then we see him in the car, and we see him. I agree. In fact, remember, hey, getting back to less is more. Less is more. Less of Nicolas Cage is more, and I think Oz Perkins messes that up here. The more I think about it, I'm going to drop the number on it, but I already gave an 88, so I can't move off of that. I don't want to be that guy, but if I do, I'm never going to go up. It's rarely, the only time I ever went up was Moneyball because I saw Moneyball after watching Hugo. I don't watch 2 films in a row, not back to back, especially Hugo is long as fuck. And then I had to sit through Moneyball, pretty long film. Moneyball's amazing. I was not in the right frame of mind. That doesn't happen. I don't do that because it's not fair to the director. When these people go to Sundance, when these people go to Toronto, when these people go to these, Cannes, they watch 4 or 5 movies. That's not fair. It's not the best way to consume these films. You need to watch a film, let it sit. Watch a film, let it sit. Okay, I don't need 24 hours to give the evaluation. I just want to be fresh when I go in so that when I come out, I'm giving it the most accurate, fairest, most objective evaluation I can, and that's the way I do that, is watching one film a day, max. I did watch 2 the other day, but that's rare. And then one of them, I think, was something stupid. It was maybe a second watch or something silly. I saw Twisters yesterday. What a fun film. Great special effects. I see it at $1 billion. Thinking of film, I agree with you. And I think this is going to be a big hit. We'll talk about it Monday. That's our Monday night. I'm exhausted, guys. A little bit of inside information. I try to fast 1 day a week. I know, right? And so today I chose to do that. So the fact that I just did an hour-long stream without eating a single fucking thing is, I can't even believe that any of this made sense. So if it didn't, remember, I'm going to fall back on that, and I'm going to say it's because I was fasting for the day. I just do it to mess the metabolism up. I'll explain that more when we start a fitness channel, because we will. But right now I'm tired. I'm about ready to fall over because my energy's at 0. Let's get some love to Gone Girl for hitting the buttons tonight, producing tonight. Awesome job, as always. I couldn't do it without you. It makes the show so much easier to perform and to really dial in on this shit when I have somebody looking over the comments. If we didn't get to your comments, we'll try to next time. Sunday night, we're back with Longlegs box office, probably the big story, because this film is going to be big, guys. 22 million minimum I got on this film. That's a big number. Big for Neon, guys. Crazy. We could go higher. This has captured the cultural zeitgeist. This is what cinema's all about. This is why Netflix will never be what a Neon, A24, obviously Universal, Warner Brothers, on and on we go, because cinema is everything. Cinema forever. MMT. Peace out. Live from LA. See you Sunday live from the City of Angels.